I don't. Do you have anything smart to say? Oh, do you have anything? You need to say something smart. Say something smart. The Egyptians, the Nile was where their power came from, right? The Nile, and it grew all their crops, and that's where their power came from. But then they created the river gods and the sun gods and all that bullshit. And do you think it's like gaslighting? Do you think it's like a fake reality they created? My favorite line I ever learned was "Facts don't care about your feelings." I think that was like my favorite line I ever heard because once I learned it, you see it everywhere. You're like, no one's really following that because I don't know what the difference between a fact and a feeling is. I have trouble determining what's the difference between a fact and a feeling. You know, like what's a feeling, what's a fact. I had this one thought. I know that there's a lot of gun ownership in America, and I knew this one guy. He had like 100 guns, and the elites have like a ton of guns. They got like hundreds of guns. A lot of them do. And this one thought I had was like, do they have guilty consciences? And then on the other hand, I was like, maybe they're just really smart. And then on the other hand, there's like, huh? Oh, and then the elites now they want a what's that Indian thing called? It's called a caste system. Because you know how exhausting it is to compete? They don't like competing. It's exhausting. They don't like their feelings being hurt. Losing hurts their feelings. So they no longer want to compete. They want a caste system because, feeling your look, your their feelings matter more than anything, right? Because it's not really about competition anymore. Because they're just going to create like river gods and fake realities. There's going to be a lot of fake realities. You're going to see a lot of fake realities created. The news, fake news. Trump said it, but he's part of it now too. Fake river. The fake river gods, the fake raw. The real power always comes from like the river or whatever the resource you have is. Saudi Arabia oil. The Ruhr Valley was like coal and iron. The South used to have cotton. They still do probably. Like it's the resource. The resources are normally the thing that. And then the other thing is like on top of it. It's a secondary layer. Are you done with this? Is your rant done? What is this? What is the point of this? I don't know. What's the point of this? I never knew what the point of this was. You should probably not upload this one. This was bad. Upload it anyway. Gun ownership, high amount in the hands of very few people. Actually, kind of odd. What else? You already said that. The elites own the tobacco, the alcohol, the drugs. They want the people at the bottom on drugs. What else? Hmm. Hmm. Oh, you had this one. I've interacted with like elites before, and they'll look at you and they'll try and figure out like what's your price. They're always looking at you like because they want you eating out of their hand. Their goal is to always have you eat out of their hand, and they'll look at you and they'll try and put you in a box. Like, what is this person? Because once you eat out of their hand, you're kind of a slave. Like I sometimes wonder if that's how like feudalism worked. Like, were they slaves or were they like, oh, you? It was like a paternalism thing. Like, you got to be careful. This paternalism shit. They're doing paternalism shit. The left and the right both do it. Like if someone's doing paternalism stuff for you, you gotta be careful with that shit. The left and the right both do it. There was a nanny state under the left. The right does it too. They're looking out for you. They ain't looking out for you. I mean but that's the same thing with the left. That's it's mere it's people are incapable. Look, I'm not capable of caring about other people. I'm just not. So I can't imagine another human being having giving a fuck about me. I can only imagine people giving a shit about themselves because I myself am incapable of giving a shit about other people. So like, I get really nervous because either I'm a psycho, because I might be a psycho. Like, I'm not capable of caring about other people, but but they're claiming that they do, and yet I can look at some of the stuff they do, and I'm like, what the fuck? They don't give a fuck about anybody but themselves. So you gotta be careful with that shit. Left and right, paternalism, nanny state. The right does paternalism. The right does paternalism. You gotta be careful with that shit. So the end of your rant. I think so. YouTube is a toilet. I'm using YouTube as a toilet. It's like a YouTube. You shit into the toilet. You shit your you into the tube. It's like a toilet. YouTube. You shit in the toilet. Mm-hmm. So that's the play. That's the play. You got to get this stuff out, or like. Also, I don't know what's gonna happen. I think my channel's gonna get destroyed. But at the other hand, I want to be able to be like, hey, I said that like 2, 3 years ago, 5 years ago. I said this. I kind of want the evidence, because like I got an ego on me, I got to be like, hey, I called this shit, and I don't want to just be like saying, hey, I said this, I want to have like some video evidence, like I said this, but whatever, because then I just come off as like somebody who said he said that, but then you can say, hey, I said that 3 years ago, 4 years ago, 1 year ago. So you gotta lay it in the video, you gotta lay it down on the video, you know what I mean?